On tonight, I want to continue the conversation that we've been having about our relationship with God, having a better relationship with God, taking that relationship to its maximum. When you look at the word relationship, there is a word tucked in there, and that is the word relate. In order to have a good, healthy relationship, those in the relationship must be able to relate. Without relating, relationships break down. They become unhealthy. They're not fulfilling. They provide no joy. Unfortunately, many people wait far too long to try to build a relationship. They let it get bad. They let it go south. And before you know it, it's irreparable. So how can we enjoy a better relationship with God? How can we as humans relate to the divine? How can we as mere mortals understand the God that we cannot see? How can we relate to God who we do not see? And we don't always get along with the people we do see. Well, let's talk about what it means to have a relationship, specifically relating in a relationship. And then we will see how to have a better relationship with the God who wants to have a relationship with us. There are at least three things that help us to relate in a relationship. The first is there must be a connection. Connection is so key. When we think of a connection, we think of things like personal time. We think about intimacy and closeness. In order to enjoy this, we must see the value of a mutual concern for connectedness. Take, for example, in James chapter 4 and verse number 8. There, the Bible teaches us, and we've read this before, draw near to God and he will draw near to you. That's connection. Get closer to God, he'll get closer to you. In a relationship, there must be a connection. God is willing to do his part. Are we willing to do ours? In order to connect with God, we must see the value of making room for him. Have you ever tried to have a relationship with anyone and they just don't have time for you? They don't make room in their hearts, room in their life for you. Making room for someone is so key to being able to be close to them. It is an experience that we have over and over again when we're down, that we make room for God when we're in the hospital, when we go through trials and tribulations, when we had the COVID pandemic. But how much space do we make for God in our lives on a daily basis? We heard just a few minutes ago about the value of exercise and just taking 10 minutes a day to exercise. How about taking just 10 minutes a day to exercise our relationship with God? Making room for him. Connecting requires time together. It requires priority in the relationship. Perhaps you've experienced this, or you know someone who's experienced this, where they have a broken relationship. It can be that maybe they spend too much time working, or too much time with friends, or too much time in leisure activities. And one person will say, You're not showing up for this relationship. You're not present for this relationship. You're not giving me what I need. Does God ever have that conversation about us? He's willing to draw nigh to us. Are we willing to draw nigh to him? Make room for him. Make time for him. Prioritize. Give him space in your life. Not only does a relationship need connection for us to relate to others, but we have to communicate. Oh, communication is essential. And when communication breaks down, relationships will fall apart. And we have different communication styles, different ways in which we can be effective in that communication. But however we communicate, if we have to write letters, write it in the sky, writing, talking, engaging each other in dialogue is essential to any kind of relationship. In the same way, we need communication with God and we need communication from God. 1 John chapter 5, verse number 14 teaches us the value of our prayer life. Do you know that when we talk to God, we can talk to him in confidence? And this is the confidence that we have toward him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. But not only must we talk to God, we must allow God to talk to us. Again, think about relationships you've been in where one person is doing all the talking, no one is listening. If we only talk to God and don't listen to him, how healthy is the communication? And God does talk to us. The question is, do we listen? Brother Gibbs, what do you mean that God talks to us? Well, the Bible teaches us in 2 Peter 1 and 3 that he has given to us everything we need for life and godliness through the knowledge of him who called us. You see, God talks to us in a number of ways. One, he talks to us through his word. It's one thing to read the Bible as a literary book, but when you are connected with God and communicating to God, he'll communicate to you. And scriptures you may have read 1,000 times will take on new meaning and come alive for you in so many ways. But not only does he talk to us through his word, he talks to us through nature. For example, when you are feeling helpless and powerless, things that happen in nature remind us of the power of God. The seasons changing, the birds singing, the diversity of creatures on land and in sea. That's God speaking to us and reminding us of his awesome power. Go outside at night and view the stars and look at the moon. Look at all of the constellations and you're reminded of the power of God. God also talks to us through times of reflection. When we take time to reflect, see, there are times that we always pray, we always talk, we always share our perspective. But there can be value in saying, I'm not going to pray, I'm not going to talk, I'm not going to share my perspective. Not that you're ceasing to pray, not that you're ceasing to share with God, but just take time to reflect and think about what God has done in your life. It's not always something that needs to be said. There are times things need to just be reflected upon. And then third, we relate to people by not only connecting and communication, but we relate to people when they provide us comfort. Some of the closest people in our lives are those who have comforted us. And God offers us comfort. And 2 Corinthians 1 verse 4, it says he's comforting us in all of our tribulations. And all that God wants us to do is to comfort others in their troubles. If we want a healthy relationship with God, a fulfilling relationship with God, a joyous relationship with God, we need to relate. And we relate in any kind of relationship when we're connected, when we communicate, and when there's comfort. If you want to get close to God, get connected, communicate, and see how much comfort you'll experience. This has been another installment of A Few Minutes with the Minister.